Today's Sunshine Note is titled, Be Sure Your Sin Will Find You Out. Now Sarah, Abram's wife, had borne him no children, but she had an Egyptian slave named Hagar. Genesis chapter 16, verse 1. Have you ever had a time in your life when your past came back to haunt you? How many times have we seen family or friends try to fool themselves by making excuses for behavior that usually leads to bad consequences? When I was 19 years old, I had a 1978 Toyota Celica that wouldn't start very well. I am as much of a mechanic as I am an astrophysicist, so I didn't know what was wrong. I just knew that if I kept turning it over, eventually the car would start. On one occasion in downtown Seattle, I was parked in a parking lot and my car wouldn't start. I kept turning the engine over but nothing happened. Getting frustrated, I lost my focus for a split second as my foot slipped off the clutch. While the car was in first gear, as I was turning it over, my car lurched forward and put a nice-sized dent into the car in front of mine. Now I was mad and scared. I jumped out of my car and surveyed the damage done to the Volkswagen in front of me. I quickly realized that nobody else was around. It was my lucky day. Being the pillar of moral ineptness that I was, I jumped into my car and drove off without leaving a hint that I had ever been there. It wasn't more than a few days later that the owner of the Volkswagen found out what had happened and discovered that I was the culprit. My attempt at covering up my mistake came back to bite me hard. In Genesis 15, we see that Sarah gives Hagar to Abram to bear her a child. Did you notice where Hagar is from? Go back to Genesis chapter 12 verse 16 to find out. That's right, Abram's sin in Egypt brought about another heap of trouble for him down the road. Sin can be like a rock thrown into a still pond. The ripple effect of it can come back to damage us long after we thought the event was over. We need to learn that living life with integrity and always taking the high road gives us a life with no regrets. Now Sarah, Abram's wife, had borne him no children, but she had an Egyptian slave named Hagar. Genesis chapter 16 verse 1. May God bless you today.